Hey guys, welcome back to the Fool Show. Of course, I am Foolish Phil. I just wanted to give you my thoughts after Michigan's 83-64 victory over the Maryland Terrapins. This was a matchup of two of the worst teams in the Big Ten. I can honestly say that. I mean, Michigan, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. 1-3 in the Big Ten coming into this game, and obviously their losses had not been very competitive. They play Maryland, who was 1-4, I believe, coming in. And now, of course, Maryland loses and goes to 1-5. So this victory is what it is. It's much needed for the Michigan Wolverines. Desperately needed. And obviously, if Michigan has any hope of turning the season around, they have to beat the teams that they should defeat. And definitely in the first half, I think you could see the defensive effort carry over from the Illinois game. I know Michigan lost the energy in the last 5 minutes of that game and lost that. Don't get me wrong. They lost. It's a loss. But I still think Michigan carried over that defensive effort from the Illinois game into this game. And they held Maryland to 19 points, and they led 39-19. Hunter Dickinson was definitely the star of the first half. He only had 5 points, but he still had, I think, a few rebounds and 4 assists, I think it was. So he was just very integral in the Michigan offense. Also, not to be outdone, Caleb Houstan. He completely flipped the script and had a very on game. The first shot of the game for him drained a 3 from Hunter Dickinson, and that kind of just set the tone for him. And he was aggressive, attacking the lane, and he did very well that way. Caleb, don't attack down the baseline, because he seems to get trapped there a little bit. But he'll work on that, I'm sure. But definitely aggressive. Diabate was doing very well. Caleb Jones did great job too again. I think he had 10 points in the first half. And just outstanding movement around the starters, right? I think the ball movement was great. And, when you're leading by 20 points at halftime, it speaks to one thing, you're getting your offense going. Secondly, you're getting your defense going very well too. The Maryland Terrapins were held to 1 field goal over the last 7 minutes. There was another stretch in the first 5-6 minutes of the game where Michigan was able to get out to a double-digit lead. They held Maryland scoreless for 4+ minutes there, and so just the defensive effort. The second half, all of a sudden, don't get me wrong, but this reminded me of Michigan games last year where they would be playing very good defense in the first half. The game was in control. And then the second half, the team just basically traded buckets back and forth. Because all of a sudden, Maryland couldn't miss. I think they hit their first 6-7 shots in the second half. And the thing was, Michigan was still scoring, and so the 20-point lead was basically staying 18 to 20 points. So it wasn't that big of a deal. But as the game got to about the midpoint in the second half, the big turning point, Maryland was making a little bit of run. Michigan was missing some of their, easy shots. Hunter Dickinson missed a couple shots in a row. Maybe missed a layup here or there. And Michigan turned the ball over, and Maryland goes down. It was an 11-point game at the point, if I remember. 11-point game. And I think, honestly, the Maryland player got fouled, and it wasn't called. But he goes up for the layup. I swear he got fouled. Didn't get called. The layup misses. Michigan comes back, and Eli Brooks does an alley-oop to Frankie Collins. And Collins just goes up and basically catches it with his right hand. It's too high for him. It's too high of an alley-oop. He basically catches it with his right hand and taps it to his left hand, and he just lifts it over the lid of the basket, and it rolls in. And boom, that was just a big 4-point swing there, because you hit that layup for Maryland, you're down to 9 points. Michigan's defense had just given up a little bit, and now their offense was in a little bit of slump. And Michigan just rode that positive momentum. The defense suddenly triggered back in. They got a turnover, a couple turnovers, and boom, all of a sudden that 11-point lead, which might have been trimmed to 9, ballooned back, I think, to 18 points. Maybe it got up to 19 points, something like that. And Michigan was able to just weather the storm there. That was just a huge turning point in the game. The missed layup and that layup by Collins there was just excellent. So it is what it is. Michigan improves to 2-3 in the Big Ten, 8-7 on the season. So no way am I saying, oh, Michigan's turned the corner. It's like Michigan's 2 Big Ten wins are against 0-8 Nebraska and now 1-5 Maryland. So yes, their 2 wins are against the 2 worst teams in the Big Ten. So I'm not going to be like, oh, Michigan's turned the corner. No. But this was a much-needed victory. Hopefully Michigan can continue to grow off this. The spacing between the starters was excellent. They hit some shots when they had openings. And that's just the biggest thing with this team. I know their defensive liabilities have been an issue. And you can work on that. And I think Michigan has turned the corner a little bit defensively. We'll see. But you can only do so much when your offense is getting open shots and you can't hit a shot. Coming into this game, Caleb Houstan was, I think, 2 of his last 21 on three-pointers. He hit, I think, 2, maybe 3 in this game, at least 2. And he was 6 of 7 for the game, so he was just shot very well, right? The Michigan starters, Hunter Dickinson led the way. 21 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. Diabate had 14 points, 6 rebounds. Most of those were layups and dunks. Caleb Houstan, like I said, 6 of 7. He had 16 points, 4 rebounds. Hunter Jones had 12 points and 4 assists. Eli Brooks had no points in the first half, but he finished with 7 in the game. So, good job on that. Definitely Frankie Collins, too. Coming in, he had some nice moves, drives to the hoop, some nice dishes off for easy layups. Finished with 6 points and 3 assists. So, that's great when that's your backup point guard, getting some good minutes there. Overall, got to win in the Big Ten. Needed to win at home against a team you needed to beat, and that's what Michigan did. One other little story, though, here, which the announcers are kind of questioning. I wonder if my viewers have any idea. Howard got that tech for the Diabate offensive foul, which was a terrible call. Terrible call. Just, a terrible call. But the announcers were right. Howard's reaction was overzealous. Michigan was up by like 20 points. And the call was like, whatever. Like, it's late in the second half. And it's like, why did he have such a reaction? I don't know. It wasn't a very over-officiated game. So I just really wonder why it was. To me, in my mind, I think Howard was agitated for one reason. The defense had gone to junk. All of a sudden, Maryland's getting like all kinds of layups. They're hitting their jump shots. Michigan really slacked defensively. So I think he was irritated by that. And 2, I think it also is a factor. He knew how big Michigan needed this game. And he was really into it. And it just caught him wrong that he wanted that possession so bad. And it was such a bad call. He just blew his top. But, I don't know. What do you guys think? If you have any thoughts, why did Howard have such a reaction and got that tech? It just was seemed unnecessary, right? If you're going to blow your top like that, it's usually like Danny Manning should have been doing that with his team down 20 points. Not Juwan Howard, whose team was up 20 points. It is what it is. It's kind of nice to actually do a video where Michigan wins and played well. It's been a while. It has really been a while since Michigan's played well. And it might be a while because I think they're going on the road to Indiana, which is going to be tough. The Big Ten does not have many easy games. Hey, as always, thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that button. Always appreciate that. And until I see you guys next time, go Blue.